Morning you guys, it's Karen and I'm coming to do a review of this. It is the Scott Cornwall Colour Restore and I've got I've got three colours, but I've tried two of them, so I thought that was enough to let you know what I think of them. And they're very different from anything else because, or not anything else, but a lot of things that are out there, certainly things you can pick up in the drugstore, because nowadays it seems like you can only buy semi-permanent colour if you want a vibrant colour. You can buy, like Superdrug do these little shampoos with colour in them, but you don't get a very vibrant look from it. Yeah, you have to buy semi-permanent, and for me that just lasts too long. So I did a video on the Charles Worthington leave-in Colour Restore, it isn't called Colour Restore, but something like that, mousse, that does give some colour. I got a brown one, they didn't do a red in that range. And then somebody, one of you, my subscribers, mentioned this Scott Cornwall. So Watson's sulking now because he can't see his girlfriend because he's just heard her leave next door. Excuse me. Anyway, so one of you mentioned this. I had a look in the boot store for it, couldn't find it, but then I found it online, and since then I've seen where it is. It's in with the hair dyes, which I know you might think like, well, where did you look last time? Last time I looked where the Charles Worthington leave-in mousse was, which is not with the hair dyes, it was in with the hair care. So anyway, that's where to find it, in with the hair dyes. So I'll read you out I haven't got a spreadsheet surprisingly, and I wanted to do the video today while I've got time and while my hair is kind of just been dyed, as opposed to wait until I've had time to do the spreadsheet and then you won't see it in kind of its initial look. This is the one I've got in deep red and I put it in yesterday. So yeah, I'll read you what the claims are, tell you how much it is, etc., and then tell you what I think. So it says, Colour Restore is a new way to control pigment levels within colour treated hair. Artificial brunette hair colours can fade, lose depth and lust over time. It's a pure concentration of pigment which can be applied as a conditioning treatment through the hair to create a rich, deep brunette effect. This is particularly talking about the chocolate one, just because there's no page just talking about them. It replenishes and returns hair colour to its former glory without the need to use a peroxide or ammonia-based colourant. Simple to use, just rinse through to maintain the tone or leave in for up to 25 minutes for deeper shades. Enables you to reverse colour fade and restore your brunette glory. Non-permanent, contains no ammonia, no peroxides and no PPDs. Can be used immediately after perming, colour removal, straightening or bleaching. Something I would like to point out there is it's talking about that it's for coloured hair, but when you read the leaflet and the frequently asked questions, etc., it says, can it be used on natural hair? And it says absolutely, but you will get a less intense colour on natural hair. But I have got natural hair. I'm just thinking I was all fuzzy there, was I? I just don't know how to get this autofocus to autofocus, you know, so I don't know whether I should just switch it to manual focus so that I'm never going out of focus unless I move. Maybe if I hold this up next to me all the time, it'll be okay, because it seems to be okay when I'm holding products up. Yeah, but this is me. I've got it on top of natural hair. I don't have any highlights or, you know, anything. A lot of people ask me what my hair colour is. It is my hair colour. I don't dye it, other than when I put something like this in it just as a little change, and I only ever use temporary or semi-permanent. So how do you use it? Really easy to use. It's just like a bottle of conditioner. There's no developer or anything like that. You do get gloves in there though. I've got a second red because I had a feeling I would like it, which I do. So you get a pair of gloves, there's an information leaflet in there, and then you just get the tube of pigment, and it is bright red, as you can see. So you do need to kind of be careful if you're doing it in your bathroom. So basically you wash your hair and towel dry it. So I kind of do that as part of my process anyway. Wash it, I put my microfiber towel on it and just sort of walk around for a bit, because the drier it is, the more intense the colour is going to be in your hair. It's best to wash it with a deep cleansing shampoo. So he talks about using his, which is Scott Cornwall pre-wash or something like that. But I would recommend just using something like Tresemme Deep Cleanse, or there's a Pantene one, anything that, if you have a look at the ingredients and can see cocamidopropyl betaine, that's the product that removes any build-up. So it'll just mean your hair's really clean and ready for colour with no, you know, stop it being patchy or anything like that, and it'll help the colour adhere better. So once you have towel dried it, you simply apply this all over, comb it through, and then leave it on. Now you can use this as a colour restore more than once, so it isn't that you open this and you have to use the whole tube in one go. You could just use a little bit of this as a conditioner on your hair, just to revive the colour, or you can use it as a colour. And if you're using it as a colour and you've got about my length hair, then you're probably going to use the whole tube. I used one whole tube, although There was probably a little bit left at the end that I didn't necessarily need, but I just used it because I wasn't going to keep that half a tube and it was in a state at that point, etc. But you can just use a little bit and use it as a conditioner to restore colour. So if you have permanently dyed red hair and you want to bring a vibrancy back to it, you probably wouldn't need to use the whole tube. You'd just use however much you needed for your hair that you would usually use in conditioner. You then leave it on for however long, depending on what you want it for. So if it was for colour, if it was to restore colour, it might be 5 minutes. The full instructions are on that leaflet, but if it is to dye your hair like I did, then it's 25 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes. So I left this on for 25 minutes yesterday. And then you simply rinse it out and that's you done. Now, you need to remember when you rinse it out to use lukewarm to cold water. That will stop. If you use hot water, it kind of opens the follicles and more of the dye will come out. Whereas if you use lukewarm to cold water, it's more likely that a lot of it will stay in your hair, because this isn't like, you know, like I said, there's no developer, etc. It isn't like your usual dye, so it won't adhere as well. So I did that. I used lukewarm water. And that's you. You then blow dry it as usual, and this is the colour you've got. So I started off using this one. This is just an empty packet. I started off with black cherry, and I did a vlog with this on, so I'll try and link it or insert it or something so you can see what the black cherry looked like. I feel like next time I would maybe use 2 of these, or I would use one and then put another one on my next hair wash, something like that, because I missed a lot of bits at the back of my hair, and I didn't feel it was as intense as I'd like. But I used that one first, and I wanted to see how long it lasted for you and before I did this review, and I would say it would only last a maximum of 2 washes. So for me, I washed my hair I didn't wash it with a deep cleansing shampoo. The next time you wash your hair, when you've got the colour in, you need to make sure you use a gentle shampoo, so something creamy, you know, so that you don't end up stripping the colour out of your hair. And most of the colour was gone, I would say, within the first wash. So the second time I washed it, I did use, which was yesterday, because I then put this colour in it, I used a deep cleansing shampoo, because I knew that there was, like I said, after the first time, there was just barely any colour left. So that will put a lot of people off, I think. A lot of people will be like, there's no point having a colour that just washes out in one wash. But it depends, because to me that really appeals to me, because I like to have bright hair for an occasion and then to be able to wash it out. And so for me, I dye my hair red at Christmas. It's normally even more vibrant than this. And I like it to then disappear within a week or so. So for some people this will work. And also, if you are thinking of dyeing your hair this colour, you could use this to try the colour out, you know, without any commitment, without having to wait a long time. As soon as you know, put it on, if you don't like it, you can wash it out. The other thing that I thought was, it's all dependent on how often you wash your hair, because if you wash your hair once a week, then it's going to last you a week. If you wash your hair every day, then it's going to last you a day. So it all depends on how long you can leave your hair without washing it. It made it feel in really good condition. It feels very soft, saying that I did put some treatment, you know, some leave-in treatment in it, but I didn't last time. I wanted to see what it was like on its own, and it leaves my hair feeling nice and conditioned. Oh, the other thing to tell you is that it does come off on clothing, not clothing, because I have made sure I haven't worn any white t-shirts, but I wouldn't recommend wearing a white t-shirt if you're dyeing your hair, you know, any of the red, purple, those kind of deep colours. I wouldn't recommend wearing a light coloured top, because it's completely stained, not stained, but it's all over my pillowcase, and it has also made all my towels all red. Now I need to wash them, and I'm pretty sure it will come out in a couple of washes, and hopefully from my pillowcases too. I don't know. I guess there's a chance it could stain because it's not hair, so it might have a different reaction, and I will try and put a comment on here to let you know, because they're actually in the wash just now, and see how I get on with that. But yes, it definitely was off on my pillowcases, so be careful wearing light clothing, because actually, that said, I thought it stained my sink. And I have got some on my hands while I was doing it, you know, the way, like, I then use afterwards I use a baby wipe to try and get it away from the edges of my hair, because Kev pointed out that it has stains right at the kind of seams, you know what I mean, but thankfully, because my hair sort of hangs down, you don't really see that. But I used a baby wipe to get rid of that, but of course then some got on my hands. and I've learned a trick for getting hair dye off, and I tried to get it out of my sink. It did stain my sink. I thought it'd stain, so I put some bleach on and that didn't get it off. And then I remembered that you can use hairspray. So I sprayed hairspray on my hand, sprayed it in the sink, and then didn't even use soap, just rinsed it and it rinsed away. So that was absolutely fine. Didn't stain the bath, strangely. So I think that's everything. There is about 6 colours. There is 3 kind of dark ones. So there's the chocolate, the deep red, and then the black cherry. I've got the chocolate to use as well because I do like dark brown hair now and then. And actually it might be quite nice to mix the deep red and chocolate, you know, to get a nice chocolate red. I think that might be quite nice as well. And then there's 3 lighter colours. So there's a candy colour, there's a blonde, and there's another type of blonde, but obviously there, if you've got really light bleached blonde hair, or I suppose naturally blonde hair, it would still work as well. They are £12.99, I believe. Yes, £12.99. There's no offers on that I know of at the moment, but always keep an eye out for the offers, you know, like the 3 for 2 on hair care. It might well include it in it, but I would definitely recommend it. I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, it doesn't last very long, but that's okay with me. That's okay by me. Oh, somebody's left a comment that I haven't answered yet, but they asked me if it's okay for them to use because they always react badly to red hair dyes. And I mentioned in my vlog that it doesn't have PPD in it. I can't tell you that it's okay and it's safe to use because there are so many things in the world that you could be allergic to. But all I can tell you is I have reacted to red dyes in the past myself, and I do think it's PPD that was responsible, which is another reason why I wouldn't, you know, why I'm very kind of anxious about using semi-permanents. But this one doesn't have ammonia and it doesn't have PPD and it doesn't have peroxide, so it is one of the safest ones out there. It is more like a conditioning colour, so I think it would be safe, but you can never guarantee that, so I can't recommend that you take the risk, if you know what I mean. That's the risk that people have to decide for themselves. If you've had allergies before, there's a chance you could be allergic to it, but of course it does recommend to do a patch test. So if you do a patch test on it, then you should be fine. You will know before you go putting it all over your hair, because the reaction I had, it actually, was it a red or was it a dark brown? Whatever colour it was, I think it was a dark brown thinking about it, but it was a semi-permanent. I thought it was filler because I had filler in these lines at the time. It was years ago and I've never had filler since. And it made it feel like I had grains of sand all over my face. So I've been very careful with using ones and making sure I do a patch test, etc., you know, to make sure that I'm not going to have some weird allergy to it. There was something else I was going to tell you. Oh, just that I've got one other colour to try, one other red colour to try that's called Auburn, and it's by Colour Pulse. And it's funny enough, it's a mousse that I was talking about that I used to use years ago. It was the only thing I ever used. I always used to dye my hair red with it, kind of at Christmas or, you know, just now and then I'd put this red mousse in, and they stopped selling it in the UK, but I've managed to get one from Italy, from eBay Italy. So I'm going to try that one and see how I get on with that. And that is a wash in, wash out that says 6 to 8 washes. I think this one actually says 8 washes. It says last up to 8 washes, not on my hair. And that's perhaps something else I should say. I'm telling you, it lasts 1 wash, but remembering I've got natural hair, so for anybody that's got coloured hair, it should last longer than it has lasted on me. So, am I blurry? I can't tell because I'm at a bit of a further distance away from the camera, so I can't tell if I'm blurry or not, but hopefully not. So I hope that was useful. If you've got any other questions, if you've got any questions, anything that I haven't answered, then please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. On my face, I've got the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation in, I think it's called Bisque Taupe, something like that. It's a funny name. I've got on some Illamasqua single eyeshadows. There's Dizzy, and there's one of them that's a limited edition one that doesn't exist anymore. I just felt like something matte and gentle on my eyes. My eyes are feeling a little bit sore. On my cheeks, I've got the Too Faced Justify My Love blusher, and on my lips I've got the new Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Requiem. So that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.